45 years in keeping Louisville weird, Electric Ladyland has been there for all your eccentricities. While they do offer the best smoking supplies out on the market today, there's a whole lot more to check out. From ashtrays and blacklight posters, to records, incense and burners, and items to stock your metaphysical supply. They're open from 10 to 10, 7 days a week, located at 2325 Bardstown Road in Louisville, Kentucky, and at electricladyland420.com. Roll out.
Hey metalheads, you like tattoos? Of course you do. If you're in the Louisville, Kentucky area, come on over the bridge to Clarksville, Indiana, and get you some ink done at Ageless Art. If ink isn't your thing, they have a piercing studio as well. Visit agelessartclarksville.com to see some frequently asked questions, meet the staff. The shop is open Monday through Thursday, 12 to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 12 to 10 p.m., and Sundays, 12 to 6 p.m., all appointment-only spots. You can set up your appointments by phone at 812-283-1793 or email agelessarttattooandpiercing@gmail.com and someone will get you set up for your first or your next tattoo or piercing.
Hey metalheads, after going to a rager, what's your ultimate go-to? Mine is totally pizza. So when Overload is playing, or I'm promoting the Metal Forge live showcases, or the big goddamn metal show, I go to Pizza Donisi. Pizza Donisi is gourmet artisan pizza from right here in Louisville, Kentucky. It features things like the pizza of the month, the sandwiches, and also vegetarian and vegan options, which is so totally fucking cool for all of it's awesome pizza. You definitely want to go. Hey, and also from time to time they do cannolis. Oh, so fucking good. You know what they said, man? Leave the gun, take the cannoli. Yeah, just like that in Godfather. They're located right next to the Mag Bar at 1396 South 2nd Street. So either stop in or call in at 502-213-0488. They're open till midnight. The witching hour.
Heineken? Fuck that shit! Pabst Blue Ribbon!
Hey metalheads, you all hear me talk about Mag Bar all the time. It is the home to the Metal Forge live showcases and is an integral stop in the ultimate underground metal tour schedule. They obviously feature live music, but the Mag Bar also has daily specials like Pint and Slice Night on Tuesdays with Pizza Donisi. But they also do Bring Your Own Vinyl on Thursdays with DJ Kent Jackson, and Finer Things Sundays. Located right next to Pizza Donisi at 1398 South 2nd Street, open 3 p.m. to 4 a.m. 7 days a week. Get your asses out to the Mag Bar. Rock out.
In a broken wasteland, come to my fire and place your blood and steel upon my pyre. Oh, this is the Metal Forge. 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 Metal Forge. My furnace
What's going on, metalheads? Thank you all for tuning into this week's episode of the Metal Forge. My name is Mark Jackson, and I am your host. And Jason Gardner is here. Dude, what's going on?
Dude, not much. A lot of, well, not a lot, but some pretty good releases out this week. Kind of just snuck up on us. Got the new Orange Goblin.
Yeah.
Going. Science, not fiction. Science, comma, not fiction. Really fucking good album. And then I haven't heard all of it, but Deep Purple actually put out a new one that was just kind of like snuck up on me. And I've heard a lot of people say it's really good. I've listened to 2 songs and they're not bad. So
hell yeah, I haven't listened to
so
that.
Yeah, it's good. It's good for the a lot of old dudes to be putting out some quality stuff.
Hell yeah. So before we go too deep into the album talk here, this week's guest is Eric Alper from Replacire. Tech Death from the... Oh my gosh, where are they? I never forget. I always forget because I talk to so many people. They're from the Boston area originally. But yeah, so super cool fucking interesting thing that, you know, Replacire, some pretty cool stuff. It's Eric Alper, spelled backwards.
Right.
Pretty funny stuff. Nurad, S-Jong or whatever is what your next band would be, I think. You didn't get that. You didn't get anything of what I just said. I can see it on your face.
Yeah.
No, Replacire is Eric Alper spelled backwards, the guitarist for the band, the main songwriter. So I said, so by rights, your next band would be Red Nrag, Usjong or something. However you say your name backwards.
Oh, I wouldn't even know.
Yeah, so see, you completely
I've never tried
it.
it because I didn't even care.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
Interesting. So, dude, albums. You were talking about the Orange Goblin album and the new Deep Purple. Mm-hmm. This year has been insane for albums already. I don't know how we're going to do that at the end of the year with the top 5.
Yeah, dude, it's not even over yet. That's the best part.
I know. There's still like 5 more months because we wait until the last possible minute to do that show.
We did it in like January, don't we? You know, after the year's actually over. Instead of like
we do because there are yeah, we're gonna do the top albums in October. We're gonna do the top streaming in February.
yeah. That shit kills me. I don't understand why they just jumped the gun to do that. It's like there's nothing happening in January. It's a perfect time to be dropping fluff crap like that.
Sure, to get people excited for the year of music again.
Yeah,
as things go on and bands put out so much more, I mean, I don't even know if it's more than it was like in the 60s at this point, but I know it's definitely more than bands in like the 80s or the 90s. Do you feel that it sometimes gets lost in the mix?
Well, with streaming, I think everything is pretty much week of and then into onto the next. There's no more like releasing like 2 or 3 singles anymore to like build an album. It's just like if you haven't made an impact on week 1, that's pretty much it for you. You know, I mean, it's sad to say, but I mean, there's probably albums I've listened to this year that I've totally forgot about.
Sure,
you know, and I'm pretty into music, and it's like, you know, it'll eventually come one day. It'll come back around, like, you know, in my like history. I'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. But yeah, you know, it's a sad reality we live in now. That just like you better have a big release, or that's it.
Definitely. And you know, it's interesting because back when Lips from Anvil was on the show, he had talked about that. How you spend, they like to put albums out in January so they have the year to tour on it. Well, that doesn't necessarily work anymore. So he would talk about how, you know, you end up you have to almost either double the cycle to keep up with everybody because everything has changed so much with streaming. And what's popular today on streaming doesn't necessarily mean that in 2 days it will be again.
Yeah, I mean, 2 days is exactly right. Like that could be your window, is like 2 days. Like once you're off the, once the Bandcamp, they do like the spotlights and stuff. Once that's gone, if you're lucky enough to get one, and then once the what's new in metal playlist on Spotify or whatever service you listen to, or when the YouTube algorithms swallow your shithole and never to be seen again unless someone knows to look for it or just gets lucky and finds it. Like you're making music for pretty much nothing anymore. And it just sucks because, like I said, I mean, back in the 80s, or even 90s, a band like Anthrax, like if they had like a band, album like one of the John Bush albums,
Stomp 442.
Yeah, like Stomp 442, for instance. Like that album probably sold like 400,000 or 500,000 copies, and it probably charted like in the top 25 on Billboard.
Right
now, if that album came out today, they'd be like, yeah, it charted number 10 with like 4,000 physical sales and 75,000 plays, which equals
and that's interesting too, because I had heard that vinyl only for the Persona Non Grata album from Exodus was only 3,500 copies.
Well, I can speak from experience that the cassette tape was only 666. It's a half one.
Well, yeah, but that's something different.
I'm just saying, that was a fact that I can actually throw out.
Well, sure. But, I think that's interesting how that demographic has changed. But anyway, I mean, it is interesting. And I'm ready to see what's coming next. Because it's a whole thing like, it's almost like meme at this point. It's like if you go viral because you're a meme. And it's even in the music. It's because your music is attached to it or something. Or somebody says, hey, look at this goofy bastard in this video. And people look at it.
Right. I know the new thing now with pop acts, in particular Taylor Swift, is to hold back on vinyl releases and just release them like every week, like a new variant every week to keep it up on the charts, which is like super inflating success. Yeah,
and then it's people like that, like her and Adele, who crashed the market for vinyl in like 2021.
I mean, maybe some of these like smaller bands should take note on that though. I mean, it's like, look, we're releasing, here's the black variants coming out this week. And next month we'll have the
yeah,
splatter.
I don't know if that's
and after that we'll have the swirl. I mean, it could be a way just to keep sales consistent instead of a bunch of backlogs sitting in the warehouse.
Sure, or instead just having one big pre-sale at the beginning. So who knows? Might actually work.
It's an idea. I mean, obviously it'd be nice to print millions of each variant and just constantly release them week after week to inflate the chart numbers. But it is an idea to be for sure to keep your product relevant for longer instead of
I think she's going to be
as the term is, blow your load one shot and then you just have a bunch of vinyl sitting there.
Sure. And and that's the thing too with her, isn't she going to be like the first like pop female billionaire that's not like part of like a power couple or something?
I don't really know. I don't really keep up with anything she does. I mean, she does nothing for me, but I do read like industry stuff, and I did read that people have called her out for doing that practice to keep at the top. I thought it was interesting, and I was like, if I could do it, would I? Like, I don't know. I don't know if I would.
Well, I mean, there's also the rumor out there too, like John Mellencamp did something similar. That his dad actually, the album didn't sell, His dad took out a loan on the farm and bought all the product and put him in the charts. And then they still had the product because his dad bought it all.
Sure.
And then they just resold it again. Once people said, holy shit, this took off.
A good move might just be have your dad buy your career.
Yeah. I mean,
that's what she did.
Yeah, that's what she did. That's what he did. That's what, you know, I think anybody who's in a fucking $1 billion industry today, their dad bought their career.
Maybe I'll do that for my kids that ever started bands. Like, hey, I'll buy all your Konami CDs. And
hey, I mean, dude, if it gets reported to SoundScan, then that's all that matters, you know? That's all that matters. Is if it gets reported, there you go. I mean, you could buy the same fucking 1,000 copies over and over and over again.
Right.
You know, take them to Best Buy and say, ring these up for me.
You can't do it anymore because Best Buy doesn't sell physical vinyl, physical media anymore.
Oh, do they not?
Nope, not even DVDs or anything like that, just games.
Damn,
and probably that part won't be much longer.
I didn't even notice that. But anyway,
they got rid of CDs years ago, and they just got rid of like Blu-rays and stuff. Like, I want to say earlier this year.
I haven't been to a Best Buy and I don't know how long.
The only time I ever go to Best Buy is usually for work when someone orders a TV and they want me to go hang it up. I'll go by and pick it up. Sure. Other than that, I haven't been in Best Buy for myself in probably 5 years.
They're expensive. But anyway.
Yeah, I thought they were expensive way back when too. So.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know anymore. I was a Circuit City guy anyway. Right. So my loyalty to my box store died with Circuit City.
I get it. I get that a whole lot. So
dude, I won my first Xbox off one of those customer survey coupons the customer surveys on the bottom of the receipt. I actually won one of those and bought an Xbox 360. Because I was total PlayStation all the way. I still am. But you know, when you're like, just when it came out, I was probably like 22, 23, something like that.
Right.
And I had this money burning a hole in my pocket, and the PlayStation 3 wasn't out yet. So yeah, I just bought the Xbox 360, and you know, I used it. I got the Red Ring of Death. By then, I already had a PS3, so I never looked back.
Hell yeah, dude. So call to action here, right?
Yes.
I do want to hear what everybody else has to say about the, you know, the whole deal. Just like with all the, is it dead the next week? You know, what are your all's thoughts on that? List them in the comments below. Let me know. Let Jason know. Reach out. I want to know. So before we go into the Replacire episode here, damn, I don't know why I just stuttered like that. Yeah, fucking big goddamn metal show, October 11th and 12th at the Mag Bar. Fucking 12 bands over 2 days with All, Midnight Hellion, Idle Throne, Wind Rider, Vexing Hex, and Treason. And then you've got Midnight Lounge Crew, Joe Grudge, Free Warren, Ice Howl, and Sanhedrin on Saturday. Holy shit, awesome fucking stuff.
Tickets moving fast.
Yeah, getting pre-sales out the ass already. Dude, fucking, I'm excited.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it has been fucking awesome. I am so fucking happy for this show taking off like it is. But fuck, yeah, so let's go ahead. Let's listen to some Replacire here from the center that cannot hold the new full-length album. We are going to listen to The Helix Unravels.
Unknown to me, my mind
right, metalheads, we are back this week with my guest, Eric Alper from Replacire.
That's right. Thanks for having me.
Dude, no, thank you. I'm glad we could finally get this scheduled and get it on the books, because it seems like it's the snake bit episode, as I call it. You know, anytime there's an issue of like scheduling, it's always the snake bit episode. So it's just, you're just there until the next one.
Right on.
It's a
scheduling's been
championship.
tough, man. My life is crazy, so thanks for rolling with it.
Oh, hell yeah, man. No, everybody's life is crazy. I think that's part of living in America these days.
I think you're right. I think you're right. I've been hunting down a new apartment. It's been a fucking nightmare.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, and if you're being in an apartment and in a band, that's already a rough situation. Especially, if you play an instrument, or if you're a vocalist and you're singing in the shower at 2 a.m. and shit and pissing off your neighbors.
Getting bangs on the fucking floor,
Oh yeah.
The neighbor downstairs. Yeah.
Come on, motherfucker.
Yeah.
So how see, this is why I edit episodes, because I've already had a moment where I was going to ask something and then completely change. So we were talking just before I started rolling when I asked if I was making sure the pronunciation of Replacire was right.
Mm-hmm. And you got it 100%. I'm very impressed.
So, and I was saying that, I'm a metalhead and I'm used to bands in metal, like cheekily misspelling something just to, like there was a band here, and I'm in the Louisville area years ago called Indecency, but spelled it just like they changed a C and an S or something.
Oh, just so it's like a little bit fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, there was another one, another band I think did that as well. So do you had mentioned that people kind of mispronounce.
Butcher it. The spelling, the pronunciation. The funniest one I think was Replacire.
Yeah,
like it's a fucking insurance agency or something. Health insurance.
That was what I had to do. I had to look at it, and that's why I was like, I have to get it to where it is this, and because I would look at it and say, did I spell this right? And even when I was sending you the Zoom link, I made sure, I was like, did I actually spell this like the right way? It's like,
I appreciate that.
I was mixing up the A and the I.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's what would be Replacire. Yeah.
And so, other than Replacire, what are some of the other crazy ones you've heard?
Well, just like unpronounceable versions, just like gibberish. Just the letters go all. It's like it's usually backstage when there's like the set list. Of who's playing, it's like the name's just fucking butchered.
Right.
But people, instead of sire, there's Replacire, stuff like that. Couldn't even. Replacire is the one that sticks out to me as the funniest. I remember, like, that was years ago, like before I think we even had an album out, and I was like, that's so goddamn funny. Like,
That needs to be a music video for something.
That'd be pretty funny. Yeah, just a bunch of different versions of the band name everywhere we go. We just can't know it gets right.
Like, for sure. So you all actually have a new album. By the time this airs, it was probably about a few weeks back, called "The Center The Center That Cannot Hold."
That's correct. Yep.
So, go ahead and tell everybody out in Metal Forge land, like, the process for you guys.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Well, okay. How much time we got?
We have as long as you need.
It was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard to do. Yeah. Like, so even though like it's quote unquote my band, I'm not a musical savant. I can't just sit down and compose this stuff and say, okay guys, like, here are your parts. Like some bands have the one guy, and he does all the stuff. It's very much a band effort. Everybody's contributing. Composition is difficult for me. And especially this kind of music is so technical and lots of twists and turns. And I'm very strict about trying to avoid cliches and picky and, so basically going all the way back to when Do Not Deviate came out. I think that was 2017, if I'm remembering my own history of my band. some of these riffs existed the year before that, to put that in perspective. So it's been an ongoing process of composing and getting together and coming up with ideas, and and everybody works and has a life, and when we could get together, we got together. We at least got together once a week. But when you're working only a couple hours on something every week, it creeps by like at a snail's pace. And then we would schedule we call them grind weeks, where everyone would do their best to clear their schedule, and we'd do these long 8, 10, 12-hour days of just writing. And even then, maybe we'd get a song done or half a song. So composing was hard. And then recording was what it was, like 2 weeks on drums, then edit them, and then get the guitars going. Took 8 hours a track, and et cetera, et cetera. Then mixing it, with Jens. Jens is great, but we did a lot of back and forth to get it right. And I was even going to fly out there to finish it with him because it was like not what I wanted, and he was, maybe a little annoyed with me, but he was willing to do it. And we ended up doing Zoom sessions. I went to my studio that I have in Boston here called Ugly Duck, piped him through the speakers so I could hear, really accurately what he was doing. And we talked in real time while he made changes. And then, then eventually you deliver it to the label, and then they sit on it for a little while. So,
Sure.
That's why 7 years later we're releasing it.
Definitely.
Yeah,
well,
in a nutshell,
and also,
anyway,
I mean, but it's 7 years, but it's also a lot of stuff has went on since then.
Oh, you're not kidding, man. Yeah, we came off tour in February 2020 and went right into lockdown.
Right.
And we did our best doing virtual sessions over Zoom. And so can you imagine, we got our guitars and we're like, what was that riff you played? Oh yeah, wait, how does it go? Okay, can someone record that and play it back? And all right, Joey, our drummer, like program some drums to that. So we're just like, God, working so, we're not there with each other, doing it.
Right.
Was, so we did our best to keep it rolling through that whole period of time. Then when we did get together, we were all masked up and like,
Sure, yeah. It makes it made it difficult. But also in that same amount of time, you've also changed a few members as well, correct?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, almost everybody. I think Zach, the bass player, Zach Baskin, and I are the only two from the previous lineup.
Okay.
That did Do Not Deviate. Yeah. So that was so disappointing when Do Not Deviate came out. Basically, the whole band started to trickle away. And any little bit of touring we were able to do, we often had fill-in members. We had a fill-in drummer one time. We had a fill-in singer one time. Pohawk, who is our guitarist now, was originally a fill-in guy, and he ended up just joining. So that was really difficult, for a while. And so yeah, like picture, the album drops, the whole band disappears.
Right.
Fuck, how are we going to tour and capitalize on this release? Okay, let's figure that out. Well, we missed the boat. There's no hype anymore, but we'll grind out some tours. And then, okay, now we got to write, but we don't have enough members. Okay, let's get them in. So, your efforts and your focus are just so jumbled as opposed to just being able to sit down and write.
Sure.
And then getting the new members like me and Pohawk, God, we would butt heads so bad when he first joined in. Just fight until we reached kind of a an equilibrium and an agreement of how we're going to compose this stuff.
Yeah, and that's the thing with guitar players. I play guitar, but only in a rhythm setting. Yeah, I could possibly learn lead stuff if it were like Dave Gilmour, real slow lead shit. But so when it's interesting to see two guitar players in a band, because I think most of the time one of them conforms to the other person's style.
Yeah.
To a degree. Granted, you do have your ones who have their own style when it comes to certain parts, like solos or whatever. But when it comes to like a rhythm that, whether it be somebody who's proficient on both, like a lead and a rhythm, somebody changes their style, it seems like. Or you just have to find the person that meshes the best with you.
I think you're so right. Yeah. Yeah, and Pohawk really had to kind of figure out what I was going for. And he's such an accomplished player. He's so incredible, better than me, one of the best out there, I'd say. And the issue in the beginning was he was composing stuff that sounded a lot like his solo stuff. And I was like, no, like we got to get heavier, we got to get meaner, we got to get dirtier. And so I'd come up with like a half-brained idea, and he'd kind of go, oh, okay, I think I get it. And then he'd turn it into something really good. But even then, he was able to take what I was going for and elevate it to such a great level. This I got to give him so much credit for this album. None of this would have sounded as good as it does if it was just me banging my head against the wall trying to figure out what to do. He's an incredible composer. It was just that beginning stage where we had to, figure out how we were going to work.
Sure.
And he also, and there's a song on the album called Uncontrolled and Unfulfilled where Pohawk was like, listen, man, we've worked together on all of this. Like, I've let you basically guide, more or less, right? Like what we're doing. I want to write a song. Like, let me write one whole song. And I was like, all right. So he wrote this song. And then I was like, I just have a couple things I want to change. So like he let me do just my couple of things, but more or less that was his way of like kind of being like, let me do something, like let me do like my own thing. And so that's his song on the record.
Hell yeah. So when you're actually getting together to write a record and to do, the thing, because everybody who's a musician does their stuff differently, whether, whether you write pieces and parts and, piecemeal it together like that would be a very good chorus. That would be a really awesome bridge or verse or intro or outro, whatever the case may be. So when it comes to writing an album and such like that, obviously the album it's just under 45 minutes. It's 11 tracks. How do you draw the track line?
How do you mean draw the track line?
Like when you're writing an album and it's just like this stuff just keeps coming. How do you did you have more that these were the best 11, or were these the 11 that you wrote and you decided this feels like it needs more?
I see what you mean. Yeah. We those were the 11 that got finished. There were lots of abandoned songs. So it's not like we had complete tracks and we were like, this doesn't make the cut. Basically we had tracks that got halfway, 3/4, even a quarter of the way. We were like, this is not going to work.
Or absorbed into something else.
Yeah. We might pull a piece from it. Like you said, like, you know what? That's a solid chorus. That's a solid intro. Let's rework it. So yeah, there was probably like, I'd say there's like 3 or 4 coming to mind that we would attempt to work on and just spin our wheels and eventually abandoned. But so the songs on the album were the ones that we actually got to the end of them and we were like, yeah, that's how it should be.
Okay. So, because I'm always like an 8-song album person. Mm-hmm. So when I see like albums with like 9, 10, 9, I can, it's a little bit easier pill to swallow. It's like 9, it's okay, it's cool. 10, 11, 12, 14 songs, stuff like that. So is that like the thing that you set out to do? It's just like most that you could put out, or how is that?
I think we were aiming for like 40-ish minutes.
Okay.
Because there's a minimum as per our contract of how long it has to be considered an album. I forget the exact number. I don't know if it's 40 minutes or 35 minutes or something.
Okay.
So we kind of had roughly our total runtime in mind. And then that last one that I was talking about, the Uncontrolled and Unfulfilled song that Pohawk wrote, I think that's a long one. That might be pushing 10 minutes. If I remember right.
641 is what it shows on the track.
641. Okay, well, never mind. That's long for us. So, so 641. So that's because some of them are short little bangers.
Sure.
So,
Living Hell is.
Oh, you like that one?
Yeah, it's a short banger, and it's like
Yep. Yeah, I like that one a lot too. So that's a great example of so that main riff in that song, bow down down down, that theme. Mm-hmm. That was I wrote that, just like those 4 power chords, and I showed it to Pohawk, and he was like, "Cool," and he came up with like the rest, you know.
Right on.
So that was how we worked that one, and same with the Helix Unravels, that first riff that you hear in that song. I had that riff floating around forever, and I couldn't do anything with it. And he heard it, came up with the next riff, and then we were like off and running. So that was how a few of those songs were birthed. You know, I had one idea that was not fleshed out in any way, shape, or form, but there was something cool to it, and he was really able to just take it, you know, where it had to go.
Hell yeah. And see, that's the fun stuff, I think, with writing, is to when you can have that those other members to fall back on and sit there and say, you know, that was really cool. Could you play that again? I love that.
Yeah,
I love that
you.
moment. And it's like, that's cool.
Yeah,
you do that point,
100%.
and you're just like, boom, what was that?
And everybody had something like that too. Like Zach came up with I think the Ghost in the Mirror, that bass line that starts that song.
Sure.
You know, he said that came to him in the shower, if I remember right, and he like had to run to his bass and like work it out. And then when he showed it to us, we were like, oh man, that's great, you know. And then the rest of the song was birthed off that. And then the Center That Cannot Hold, this title track, you know, we were sitting around and we were ready to start a new song, and we weren't playing, you know, like loud live. We were in a bedroom, and we were like, Joey, sit down. Our drummer's Joey, you know, sit down and come up with like some sort of rhythmic thing with like very clear kick hits, and we'll just do chugs on them, and then we'll go from there. And that's how that intro was born. And then the rest of the song was birthed off that. So everybody kind of had a moment like you're describing where we were like, oh, yeah, you know, that's going to work.
Yeah.
Like, let's go, you know?
Yeah. And it's super fun to have that. So as the album is out in the middle of summer, what does the rest of 2024 have in store for you guys?
Yeah, that's a great question, man, because like I mentioned, I'm in an apartment. I have 2 members out of state. I don't have a vehicle for the band. I don't have a rehearsal space for the band. I don't have fucking $30,000 to kick us off for a tour. You know what I mean? So touring does not seem like it's very feasible just financially. You know, metal doesn't make a lot of money.
Sure.
We don't have backers. We don't have rich parents. We don't have, you know, what have you to make it go. So, you know, I don't want to, you know, never say never, right? But like if we get some amazing offer with some band that's going to be really good for us and really lucrative and really fun and rewarding, because let's be honest here, we're not going to make millions of dollars being a heavy fucking proggy metal band. You know, maybe we'll figure out a way to do it, but I don't have plans to play shows or to take it out on the road. I'm kind of in a stage in my life where I need to have a place to live. I need money coming in. You know, as much as I hate to say it, it's, you know, when I was in my 20s and I lived in a house with 7 other people and my rent was $500 and we could play in the basement, that was a different story. Fucking send it. Let's go. I don't care. You know, now it's sort of like, hey, I got to, I can't just hemorrhage money on this anymore. You know,
exactly.
As bleak as that sounds, but
no, and I think that's awesome that you have been able to recognize that, because ultimately I think that's a struggle with every musician.
Yeah.
You know, if you haven't reached, you know, that tippy top point of whatever, you know, we all play bars and we all do, you know, we get the occasional good gig and stuff like that. But, you know, you've got to, there's a term I heard where it's called terminally local.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's the band that gets that plays out 4 or 5 times a year, you know, to their friends at the bar who get an occasional headline spot or opening spot for a headlining band that comes through, kind of thing. And there's nothing wrong with that at all.
Of course.
No, because it's still very fulfilling. I love that part of things. And
yeah.
But, you know, metal today is so very different than 40 years ago. at the beginning. For one, record labels and stuff like that didn't. All these boutique labels were out there. They were a lot more underground than what they are now because of the internet. But I mean, it's somebody that's always been there. So that's the cool thing is, I guess I kind of rambled there for a second.
No, but everything you're saying is so true, and it breaks my heart because who doesn't love playing shows? If you're a musician, it's the greatest feeling in the world to be up there and play your riffs and see people react to it and just have a good fucking time up there and the release and the energy and I'm a performer, man. I love it, and it fucking kills me to say no, like we're not playing, it's just like, where am I going to pull that money from? It's just not a reality, and we were set up, speaking of the whole lockdown thing, we were pretty set up. I was in that shitty house I was telling you about. We had a rehearsal space. I had a van that I got for a couple $1,000 that I put bunk beds in, it was like a big diesel kind of bus thing.
Sure.
We kept it at my buddy's house that had a parking spot. Like we could have picked up and gone whenever, but then we didn't have the band members. Then we got the band members and we did the tour and then it locked down. Right. And now I'm paying insurance and all this shit on a thing I'm never going to use. So I sold it. Then I had to get out of that place and I had to triple my fucking rent to be in an apartment instead of that house. And it's like, I was set up. I was ready to go.
Yeah,
it was all there.
And it's just
and
like,
now
and
I'm
it
34
really is
and
that
like
luck.
I fucking yeah.
Yeah, and it really is that luck, honestly, that, being in the right place at the right time. And that's really what it is. It's almost, people always say, oh, it's like winning the lottery. Well, it kind of is.
It kind of is. That's getting signed was by pure luck.
Sure.
We were I think we were still in college or just out of college. We were young. We were in our early 20s. And we were doing a tour with our buddies in Rattlehead. I don't think they're active anymore, but they're like an LA thrash band.
Sure.
And they were doing a 3-month tour across the whole US. And when they were on the East Coast, we were going to link up with them for like a week or two. And so we were going to meet them. We were in Mass. We were going to come down to like some state down there, I don't know, South Carolina or something. So, we were going to work our way down with a couple shows, meet up, and then take off with them. And early stages of the band, I think maybe we had the first album out that like no one gave a shit about, like just like, small potatoes. And booked us a show in Delaware. And, the guy refused to pay us. And I was like, all right, can we get some pizza? Maybe at least some food? And he's like, all right, I'll get you guys some pizzas. All right, cool. So we're going to go down, play for some pizzas. We go down, we show up. The local bands dropped off. So it was us and another out-of-state band. So no draw, no crowd, right? And we're like, all right, well, fuck it. We'll just play our balls off and have a good time like we always do. Warm-up show for the rest of the tour, So we get up there, we do our thing. We have our light show, banging. It's like, we give a great performance. Turns out the main dude from Season of Mist was like the only guy there watching us play because we were on his radar and he wanted to check us out, and so we played a private show just to him. We had no idea who he was or why he was there, just a guy at the bar at the show, Sure enough, like a week later, we get an email, hey, we want to sign you guys, like we think you're great. And it's like, how did that happen? It's just right place, right time,
Which is interesting because it's always, knowing people who have went out and done the LA thing and, went out to LA to become a movie star, rock star, whatever star, star on the Walk of Fame, whatever it is, where they've done label showcases and shit like that. And it's just like, that's exactly what you basically did. Because that's what a label showcase is. It's like they're the only people there, it seems like.
Yeah.
So,
and earlier than that, we had been scouted by, I think, Roadrunner, and they passed on us. It was a very similar thing. I booked us a show in New York so they could come see us. Nobody was there. It was a real lame, dead crowd. And they were just like, nah. you know? So, yeah.
But look where they're at now. So...
Yeah. But it was cool because Slipknot was originally on Roadrunner. I always held them like, that's the label. You know what I mean? That's
and back in the day, Roadrunner was the label for metal. Absolutely, they were, and especially metal. They had a wide variety on their label. I mean, I think I hate to say it, but I think even Nickelback was signed on Roadrunner at one point.
Were they? No kidding.
I believe so.
Wow.
there's some other crazy like bands like Code Red or somebody was on there. Some weird fucking band that you wouldn't have ever expected. But no, we had where I grew up, we had a couple of people who were on the Roadrunner Street team. And
cool.
And they would send them boxes of CDs to hand out at shows of sampler discs and shit like that. I think in my collection I still may have a few of those.
Yeah, I think I had those too. And I remember they did the Roadrunner United, and they had all the different guys from different bands come together and write a tune. And it was
like a super group cool. kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are always funny as hell to me when I was doing a Facebook Live a while back, and somebody brought up Supergroup from VH1 with Sebastian Bach and Ted Nugent.
Oh, Fist. Remember
that
one episode where they named the band Fist? And I forget, one of the guys shot it down like, we're not fucking named Fist. Like,
it's probably Evan Seinfeld. Hell yes. But yeah, dude, hopefully you can get out and do at least something, at least festival shows seem to be the way to go these days. But even then, if it's not close to you, like it could still be kind of hard to just even if it's in the next state over, it's sometimes hard.
Just getting everybody together and then the rehearsal time leading up to it. Like, we're not a band that actively rehearses. We used to be twice a week. Like, we were tight. We were an oiled machine. And then, we kind of just fell into writing, and we haven't rehearsed. So
sure,
it would be a whole undertaking that, is not impossible, but it's very daunting.
Oh, absolutely. It very much is. And, I'm recently went through something similar with my primary band, Overload, where, we had a member have 2 surgeries back to back.
Oh, geez.
And and it's our drummer, and they were on his arms. So we spent, earlier this month, by the time we're recording this, anybody doesn't know when it was. So we finally were able to get back together and to do some writing together for the first time in like 9 months.
How's he doing? Can he play?
Oh yeah, he's awesome.
Good.
He's adapted like crazy for it. So for what he had
very
done.
Cool. Glad to hear that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the derailed segment. These are 5 random questions about you as a person. No holds barred. Anything goes.
Okay. All right, lay it on me.
So, what are your favorite objects that represent the holiday season to you?
Interesting question. Favorite objects that represent the holiday season? Turkey on Thanksgiving. I like to eat.
Right. So like the days leading up to Thanksgiving, you're seeing the turkey decorations and you're like, oh gosh.
Can't wait for it. The turkey, the cranberry sauce, the pumpkin pie. Yeah.
Dude, gotta ask. You mentioned cranberry sauce.
Yep.
Out of the can, like the ocean spray, or real?
Oh yeah. Oh, the canned stuff.
Okay, because there's so many people that I know that like it's like over here in Indiana, Kentucky, it's like a hard line. Like that shit is disgusting, or that shit is awesome.
No, that's my favorite. Yeah, it's like it comes out and it's can shaped, and you
slice it. And you slice it down the ribs in the can.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, it's really at that point, it's just like cranberry jelly.
Yes. But then you can mush it into the mashed potatoes and put it on the turkey, and sweet. And,
absolutely.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge glutton on Thanksgiving. I'll eat myself silly.
Hell yeah. I totally get it. Thanksgiving was always my dad's favorite holiday because he loved getting together with family because he grew up as an only child. So.
Oh yeah. So it's a bit special.
Yeah, it was special to him. So hell yeah. If you could open a store, what would you sell or provide?
Oh, it would definitely be like a weird witchy satanic oddity shop.
Fuck yes.
something
The world
like that. You know
needs
what I mean?
more Raise Occult books.
yeah, just like all kinds of demonology books and upside down crosses and pentagrams and black candles and like if I had a store, it would just be cool shit, coffins and whatever, just like weird cool stuff. I love stores like that. Like, there was one in Nashville when we toured through Nashville. It was right next to the venue, and it was just an oddity shop like that. They had weird little dead things in jars and like just weird stuff, and we just spent like an hour or two just walking around looking at stuff. It was
hell yeah. Cool. Absolutely. We have one here in Louisville called Unorthodox. Shout out to Kathy for the owner. She is awesome. I actually bought a preserved Madagascar scorpion.
Oh, cool.
In there. And she gets in so many like framed specimens, butterflies, the death head hawk moth.
Cool.
All kinds of stuff. Animal skulls. There's actually some like phrenology stuff in there and everything. It's so cool. Witchy stuff. Awesome stuff. Fucking,
I love that.
But I'm totally the same way though. I'll reach over here and my ashtray and I put a paperweight in it is totally the.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
It's totally an orb paperweight and an ashtray skull. I'm totally into that as well. I
love that.
I have a Venom tattoo.
Yes.
I mean, it's awesome shit all around.
I love that imagery. It's so cool. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And, I really love the screen printed patches of like pages from like Paradise Lost and the real like 16, 17, 1800s line drawing stuff in books. I just love that stuff.
Yeah, same. It's amazing.
What is
maybe we should open a store now.
Maybe and honestly, that's a kind of a gamble. It's like almost like opening a music venue, I think. Because a store I think would be easier to open than a music venue, because like with a music venue it's all about the insurance and the beer sales and shit like that. So but that's on a as Del Preston in Wayne's World 2 said, that's another story altogether. What was the first car that you ever owned?
Oh man, it was a 1990 Geo Prism, and it was a piece of junk. I paid $500 for it. There was a stick shift, fucking big crack in the windshield. The heat didn't work, but it got me around. It got me to work, and the funniest thing always was that I was working at like I had two jobs in high school. I worked at Wendy's, fast food, and I would open on the weekends at like 3:30 in the morning and unload the truck and prep for breakfast, which I'm pretty sure was totally illegal because I was like 16 years old, So I think there was some child labor laws they were ignoring. And then and I would be on the grill during the week, and then I would clean a daycare center as well. So I was just working. I was going to high school and I was saving my money, and I bought this shitty little car, but I also bought a custom Carvin guitar. They're Kiesel now. They were Carvin back then.
Sure.
Which was like $1,700.
Oh yeah,
so
I'm familiar.
I put my $1,700 guitar in the back of my $500 car. I'd be like, this is fucked up,
That's because the math on that. So do you still have that Carvin?
Oh no, that thing is long gone. It has passed on. Yeah.
Damn. Did it just finally dilapidate to where it wasn't playable, or did you sell it?
Oh, the guitar? I thought you said the car.
Oh no, I figured the car.
Oh, the car is gone, but the guitar, it's right here next to me. I still have it. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah, that's totally rad that you still have it.
Mm-hmm. That's not going. That was my first like big purchase. My
real guitar, air quotes there. Yeah.
Yep.
It's like it's a real guitar, Pinocchio.
Yeah, and a lot of hours on that thing.
Oh, absolutely, and I mean that's. I still have like my first like real guitar purchase and stuff. It's actually right here behind me. It's the SG.
Hey, mine's green too.
Ah, nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Dude, you can't go wrong with a green guitar.
No.
I mean,
it's classic.
It roots itself all the way back to Peter Green from...
Yeah.
I dig it. See, it's how it works. It's all simpatico. If you could describe yourself as a flavor, what would it be?
A flavor. Umami. Meaty.
Damn. I'm going to give you a bonus question because that one was just silly as hell.
Okay.
I mean, like, I don't know. Like, every time I've somebody else asked me that a while back, and it just kind of hit me with it, and because it popped up as well, and I always think back of the scene in Wayne's World. He's like, if Benjamin were an ice cream flavor, he'd be Pralines and Dick.
Pralines and Dick. That would have been a better answer. That's fine.
No, but it's funny shit. Have you ever walked out of a movie because it was so bad, or a band because it was so bad?
Bands, yes, because when you're on the road, there's just so many shows that there's bands that are just not that good, and so you go hang out outside or whatever. Movies, yes. I'm trying to remember what movie it was. It was so bad I probably can't even remember it. But I remember walking out and trying to get my money back, and they wouldn't give it back. And this isn't a very exciting story because I can't remember what fucking movie it was, but I remember it was just horrid.
I hope it was something fucking major, like fucking an officer and a gentleman, or fucking, some fucking like Titanic or some fucking like Terminator 2, something. And I'm dating myself because I'm listing fucking movies from like the 80s and the 90s. Nothing from the fucking millennium era that is well warranted on walking out on.
There's so many bad movies. Yeah. So yeah, short answer is yes.
Sure. Yeah, I think we've all been there. I've sat in movies where I have wanted to walk out on.
You keep waiting. Maybe something will happen. Maybe I've got to give it a chance.
Or I don't want to be rude to the people I'm with.
Oh yeah, that too.
Like we, one of the bands I was in, 20 years ago, we all blew off practice one night because we were a 3-a-week band. We did Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday.
That's some serious practicing.
Yeah, and we sucked.
Yeah. Oh no.
And we sucked. So, I mean, we didn't really suck. We had good members. I mean, I think I was the weakest link in that band, but
okay, fair enough.
But I mean, I'm sure that's the self complex where we all feel like we're the weakest link in whatever we do. Whether it be like everybody that you work with, you're like, or that person sucks.
Well, that's always the best scenario, though. If you're the worst one, you're going to grow the most.
Sure, exactly. Exactly. And we all ditched practice to go watch House of 1,000 Corpses in the theater, and I was just like, this is fucking stupid. And I was just like, it felt like a fucking 90-minute Rob Zombie music video without the music.
They're so bizarre. Yeah, his movies, like, I've watched them a few times, and sometimes I'm like, yeah, this is entertaining, and other times I'm like, well, what the absolute fuck?
Well, yeah, like, because when the sequel came out, The Devil's Rejects, it blew it away. Yeah, that's actually a good film. I like it.
Which one is House of 1,000 Corpses when they end up in the weird like underground tunnels? Yeah, where it just goes off the rails for like no reason. Like it's like totally.
And with Dr. Satan and shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They in the big reveal, he's like in that room with all the like whatever dead shit, and like I remember that.
Yeah. And totally. I was just like, there are some good shots in it. Like the one that I always remember is where the chick who lives, spoiler alert, lives spoiler. It's only been out like 25 years now. Where she runs around the corner and you get like this like side kind of profile, but like onward, but it's just of her eye and shit. Those are always like really cool shots to me. But we're rambling on that, so it's all good. That's what this is.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, you know.
100%.
So before we go, I have one more question. But before we get to it, as always, links are listed below. So please give a like, a share, and a follow. Hit up the Instagrams, the Bandcamps, the Seasons of Mist site, their official sites. Go support in any and every way you can. Obviously, because they're not in a touring condition right now, go buy as much merch as you can. You know, seriously, because honestly, that's what's going to get these dudes back out on the road, is buying that merch and getting that stuff and getting it going and everything. Because that's how fucking the music scene is these days. Mm-hmm. Dude, Eric, do you have any other shout outs or anything else you'd like to promote today?
I'm a producer. I'm an engineer. I did all the production on the record. If you guys think it sounds cool, feel free to hit me up at eric@uglyduckstudios.com. The studio is called Ugly Duck Studios. It's here in Boston. If you're local, we can record. If you're not local, you can send me stuff. I can mix it, edit it, master it, whatever you need. That's my bread and butter. I work on all genres. I especially love metal. So any metal heads out there, if you want a little extra spice on your stuff, I got you. But besides that, thanks for having me, man. It's been great chatting, and I hope people are liking the record.
Hell yeah, dude. I think it sounds amazing. I think that, you know, sonically it kicks ass. Like, it flows. Like, this is where I went back to the thing where about the 11 tracks. Okay? And to me, it's like all of a sudden I was like 6 tracks in. And then like, holy shit. It's just like I got lost in it.
Oh, that's so cool to hear.
And I love that about albums.
Yeah.
When I have to go back and like listen again, because it's like, wait a minute, am I already here? What? It's like I have to go. It's like, okay, kick back to like track 3. I remember this.
Yeah.
Kick it up, track 4. I remember. Okay, cool. Yeah. And it's just like, shit. But yeah, I totally love having that with a band. You know, when I can listen to something and it jams, and just like I can lose myself in it, and just overall fucking just it becomes immersive at that point. And that's what I think, you know, that's what I think is sorely lacking in a lot of like, quote, popular music these days. It's just background noise, and it's nothing to be immersed in.
Yeah.
And for me, it's all about what I can feel.
Yeah.
With it. And so fuck yeah, man. Like I appreciate you coming in and doing this interview, because it is an awesome album, and it does need to be heard.
Thank you so much. That means so much to hear, you know, and I really appreciate it.
Fuck yeah, man. So final question of the day. And because I got all philosophical there, we're going to ask a, you know, conspiracy theorist question.
Okay, all right.
Did you ever check your Halloween candy for needles?
No. I wasn't expecting you to say that. No, never.
What did you expect I was going to say?
I thought you were going to ask me about reptilian overlords or something.
Oh, gosh. Well, I mean, do you believe that, though?
Yeah, a little bit. I've gone down the rabbit hole a little too deep a few nights when I couldn't sleep.
Dude, it is kindly weird, I will say that. But, like, I recently had watched Abyss by James Cameron. And
I don't know that.
What's that?
That's a movie? I don't know that one.
Yeah, it came out after Aliens, but before Terminator 2.
Oh, okay.
And it's okay, but it's like, meh. It's kind of a long-winded kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But it deals with like another, like, I don't know if they're aliens or not, but they're like 2 miles down into the ocean and shit. Things that we've never seen ever before, you know? Yeah.
Well, I mean, but we haven't even explored, what, like 80% of the ocean or some crazy percentage?
We've only explored like 20% of it, yeah.
Yeah. So there's stuff, we don't know about, and never mind space.
Yeah.
And even just what's happening here, it's like, I really, I think there's a lot more than we're being told.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. And I think that's with everything, whether it be, whether it be just, I don't know. So like I'm going to get into a current event thing here really fast. A current event as by the day we're recording this. So you can probably look at the dates. But I had read an article where 30 states were issuing a lawsuit against Live Nation and Ticketmaster because they've been a conglomerate since 2010. And to me, that's it almost feels like when you're not being quote told everything, it almost feels like that's a distractionary news article.
Yeah,
because it's like they've been this for 14 years, and all of a sudden now you're saying something. It's not because the artist's fucking bitching about merch cuts,
right?
It's not that. So it's like, what else is going on that all of a sudden fucking the government cares about fucking Live Nation?
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. So what's going on behind the scenes that we're supposed to be distracted by this?
Right.
That they're actually doing. Yeah, 100%. There's definitely something cooking.
Yeah, and it's all fucked up, dude. So
absolutely.
Dude, Eric, thank you again so much for coming to the Metal Forge this week. This has been fucking awesome. I've enjoyed it. Finally, we've got to do this interview.
Yes, I agree. Thank you. Thank you.
You have my number. Anytime you want to jump on and do a quick jump into Facebook Live or something with me. You've got my number. Just say, hey, go live. It's like, we got
cool.
this.
Yeah, I'm down for that. Yeah. Likewise, hit me up anytime, man. You got
Hell
me.
Yeah, dude. So off of The Center That Cannot Hold, what do you want to play out?
What song?
Yeah.
Let's do Living Hell.
Oh, yeah. Here it comes.
Yeah.
Dude, again, metal every day. Thanks a fucking lot. This is Living Hell. Yeah.
The shadow night Makerous Lingering invisibility The choke of light paralyzing chorus Play back bloom of love's uncertain doom The sun of the chief strike with Michigan
In 2017, one man's vision and passion for all things metal started out as a record store in his house. Years later, the fight against a mainstream empire continues as Shade Beast. An independent metal collective and online store based in Athens, Georgia, is the world's premier heavy metal brand for music heads that value authenticity over the mainstream acceptance. Featuring original t-shirts from some of the best underground artists, as well as stickers, posters from the Shade Beast Presents concert series. Unique, one-of-a-kind collectibles and small curated selection of vinyl and cassettes from the masters old and new. Visit shadebeast.com and enter promo code SithLord for free domestic shipping on your first order, whether you're a new customer or returning. And be sure to join the Shade Beast social groups on Facebook and the interwebs to keep up with the new release announcements and talk all things metal and Star Wars. You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and filth.
Welcome to the night. You think you know Night Demon? Then the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast is for you. Step into the darkness as we peel back the curtain to give you an unprecedented, all-access look into the mind and the heart of the demon. We're talking band history, song analysis, studio anecdotes, stories from the road. It's everything a diehard Night Demon fan could want and more. This is the only place to learn the inside scoop, the deep dive trivia, the untold tales from the band members themselves and those closest to the Night Demon story. Need more? The sacred Night Demon Crypt will be pried open to reveal demo recordings that have never before seen the light of day, all with in-depth commentary by the band and the people who were there for the writing and recording process. This is a gold mine, a treasure trove of all things Night Demon. Head over to nightdemon.net or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Since 2013, there has been a calling from the underground, from the graves of all those unholy, and they decided to make a zine to talk about all of this. Soul Grinder Zine! An independent metal zine to keep you informed on all things metal and horror from the underground. Available in both print and digital formats, they're bringing you the best interviews and reviews out there today. Not only do they do the zine, but they also do compilation CDs. Check them out at facebook.com/soulgrinder.zine and start your subscription now.
Hey everybody, let me tell you about the new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Unchained Tapes. They're an independent Pennsylvania tape label. They focus on extreme metal and punk with a killer approach to the tape scene. Visit their web store at unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com now to get your fill of tapes. And for being a Metal Forge listener, enter the code METALFORGE10 at checkout to get a 10% discount on your total purchase. That's unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com.
What's up, Metal Forge fans? This is Alan Bishop, the alchemist of Indiana's Black Forest and head distiller at Spirits of French Lick. Do you find yourself drawn to the unexplained, fascinated by the Fortean, or enchanted by the paranormal? If the things that go bump in the night resonate in your mind, then tune into my brand new podcast, If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. Featuring first-hand accounts, collected stories, interviews, history, and speculation related to all things not of this world. Available now on Anchor, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and more. Set back, relax, and remember, if you have ghosts, you have everything.
Hey, let me tell you guys about Mercenary Press. They're an independent London label and distributor of all things metal. Mercenary Press delivers the goods from their own independent zine. Trust me, you're going to want to get in on that. To distributing various bands from all over the world, including Cramp from Spain and Sadistic Force from Texas. Visit mercenarypress.bigcartel.com to find out what all they have in stock and what you can order. And for Metal Forge listeners, enter code METALFORGE10 to receive a discount on your total purchase at mercenarypress.bigcartel.com. Check it out now.
Hey Metalheads, it's with great pleasure I get to tell you guys about a new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Ageless Art, New Albany. After 20 years of owning and operating Ageless Art in Clarksville, Indiana, Phil Garrett had a vision for a new type of tattoo studio. Something that is clean and modern, sleek, refined, inviting. And he's done just that with Ageless Art in New Albany. You can find it at 2736 Charlestown Road, New Albany, Indiana, 47150. Business hours are Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sundays are 12 to 6. All sessions are appointment only, so give them a call and go get you some new ink. Or if it's your first time, go get your first one, baby.